How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm just doing another basics video, and today we are talking about reels, specifically spinning and casting reels. That's all I really use. That's all I really know about. So, I mean, I got flat rod. I got other reels like big game stuff, but we're gonna go over just today spinning versus casting. So I'm gonna start with the simple one. This is pretty. It's just a small little panfish reel that I use. So this is a spinning reel. It's just a really micro reel. I mean, they go to all different sizes. So this is kind of something that you would, if you're not starting off as a kid with a little spin cast combo, spinning reels are the easiest ones to use. Let's see. This specific one is a 2-ball bearing. It doesn't really give me a whole lot of detail on this specific reel. So the ball bearings and there's numbers on these things that have like how many revolutions you get when you turn the handle. So generally these are much slower than something of a casting. Casting reels are much more complicated, so we'll get into that in a minute. But so here is, and this is just a standard little spinning reel. Here is your drag system. So tighten that down, it's going to lock that drag down, loosen it, it's going to give your drag wherever you want, to the point that you want. What you're going to do is, with the drag, you're going to put your line through that little loop there, little roller. You can tighten that down by going clockwise, counterclockwise, and it's going to loosen or tighten that. If you unscrew this completely, you'll be able to take that whole spool right off if you need to do any sort of cleaning to it or maintenance, whatnot. So another thing with these spinning reels, you can actually, this little screw here, you can undo that and switch it, the handle here, right or left. It's your preference. I prefer a left when I'm using a spinning, or right retrieve when I'm using casting. I don't know. That's just me. I'm right-handed, but that's just how I prefer these reels. I mean, there's not really a whole lot I can really get into with the spinning. We'll get into some rods later. So that's the spinning. We're going to get into the casting now. So this is a casting Spartacus. So I just had this one out because I was re-rigging so I could throw around those giant baits. So I have some 50-pound braid on that. So this is a casting right-hand retrieve. So we're gonna kind of break this down a little bit. So you got a little button here that's gonna release your bail, and when if you want to engage that, you just hit the handle there. So this is your drag system. This is a star drag system. I keep these things locked, but if you want to loosen up your drag, you just go backwards with it. Some have clicks, some don't. So you just kind of go forward. It's going to lock that drag down nice and tight. So this little knob here, you guys can see that. This is a spool tension knob. So it's you gotta adjust depending on the weight of your lure. You gotta adjust that spool tension so it go backwards, loosens, forwards, tightens it down. So this one is also an 11-to-1 ball bearings. The gear ratio is 6:3:1. So if I remember this correctly, it's 6 revolutions per 1 turn. Sorry, throat's getting a little dry. So every time you excuse me, every time you turn your reel handle, you're gonna get 6 revolutions. That's gonna depend on how much line actually gets retrieved back in. Most bass guys use casting stuff like this because you get so much line per retrieve turn of the handle. So you get a lot more line in, and you can just manhandle these fish in a lot easier. So this specific reel has a dual braking system on it. Some don't. So this outer piece here is a magnetic braking system. So you just turn that up and down depending on how much you want these brakes to engage. I have this on a 0 because I have the internal brakes on right now. So yeah, when you get started off with these, when you want to start learning how to use these, I would just crank that all the way up to the max and then back it down from there. So with the internal brakes here, this specific rail is a little switch here. So you push that switch down, and you're going to push that plate down. Should be able to pull it right off. Yep, pull that right off. So this one has the internal brakes as well. So this one has like a little, let's see. Alright, so there's like, if you can see that, there's like a little ring around this, and it adjusts the brakes to where you need them to. So these are just internal brakes. So on the outside there's magnet brakes. So that's gonna, depending on how tight you have those magnets are engaged to slow that spool down. So when you pop this plate off too, if you need to, for cleaning, stuff like that, pull that spool right out, put it right back in. So I mean, that's kind of it from what I'm familiar with anyway. I mean, I don't know all the super details on how these things work. I'm not a big gearhead, but that's just kind of a quick rundown on a casting reel. So yeah, some don't have these internal brakes. So you probably get a better look at it while I have it out. And just kind of adjust the brakes like that. And these ones go up to a 6. So yeah, it's just gonna help if you have internal brakes when you're starting. I would definitely use these as well as the magnetic brakes, and then you can just kind of adjust them as you need. Some of these will just have little tabs, there'll be 4 tabs in there, and just adjust them. Like you push them in to engage the brakes on them. So yeah, I mean, that's just kind of quick rundown on those two reels, the difference. Yeah, I mean, that's about it really for these. So if you guys like the content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, ring the notification bell. We'll be getting to the rods next, and then we'll be going into baits like plastics, hard baits, topwater baits, stuff like that. We're getting there. This is just the basic stuff. So yeah, so that's it for that. So I'll see you guys on the next video.